We are joined by NBC's moderator of Meet the Press, Chuck Todd. It's always great to have you, Chuck. Got a couple of questions here for you as the Senate begins this impeachment trial. What are the risks here, not only for Democrats, but Republicans?
Look, I think the biggest, if you want to look at the risk here for Republicans, it's reliving January 6th and having it sort of front and center again, and in a way that maybe is more striking and startling than it was actually experiencing the day in real time, right? You know, especially for those senators in the room, they knew what they knew, but there's a whole bunch of stuff they never actually saw that was happening in real time. And as that narrative gets put together, you know, this has been sort of my thought about this impeachment trial, Charles, which is which narrative dominates the week? Is it the day of January 6th itself, or is it a debate about the constitutionality of the trial itself, right? And so, to me, it's really incumbent upon these impeachment managers. Do they do a good job of essentially transporting everybody back to January 6th? And that is what we're reliving for a couple of days. Or are they getting bogged down into the back and forth about whether this is a legal or a constitutional process? I think answer that question, and I think you'll have an idea of how impactful this trial could be.
I think also for the country, when we see what President Biden talked about 2 weeks ago in his inauguration about unity, you know, and how all of that unfolds in the week ahead. But I also want to ask you, when you look at his first 2 weeks in office, it seems like he's been able to unify the party more with these executive orders and the stimulus bill, and yet unifying the country is going to be the taller task.
Well, it's interesting, you know, right now his COVID relief plan is more popular than him himself. And I think President Biden would take that, but that is a reminder of what you just said. I think that there certainly is unity about doing something about the virus. There's unity about getting money out there and getting these vaccines done, but there's almost still some skepticism of the individual himself, which I get, and I think when you look at the last 20 years, I would understand why folks are a bit skeptical of whether unity is going to happen. But I will say this: I think Joe Biden decided you got to have your party united if you have any hopes of governing, right? You know, start there and then work on the bipartisanship. If you work too hard on bipartisanship, you could lose some of your own people. So I think that's the decision they made. Look, it'll be, to me, a year from now, if whether they're still able to get stuff done or not get done, it'll be whether we question whether this strategy was the right one or not.
He's Chuck Todd with Meet the Press. Chuck, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Charles.
And a reminder, you can catch Chuck Todd on Meet the Press every Sunday morning at 8 right here on TMJ4.